So I had a question, and the question was specifically around prayer and when you hit blocks. So essentially, let's say, for example, you're starting to pray. So if you're starting to pray and you never prayed before, maybe you could just start off with pretty simple things like you wake up in the morning and you say, please help me with my day, for example. At the end of the day, you could say, thank you. Then, to be honest, maybe if you want to escalate from that, you want to really get into what are your thoughts. So start to journal. And when you're journaling, you don't want to censor your stuff. So let's say you write 3 pages. So we're going to steal from the Artist's Way. And I reference the Artist's Way because it's one of the easiest ways that I really got into journaling. If you want to do the course, you can do the course. I'm not an affiliate, but I've gotten a lot out of doing the Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. So try to journal or just sit there and write 3 pages, stream of consciousness, what enters your mind. When you start out doing that, you're going to really kind of encounter that, wow, this is like I'm just saying a lot of crazy stuff. And you'll see that you're, quote unquote, it's a lot of limiting stuff, self-deprecation stuff, bad stuff about yourself, bad stuff about others. Okay, so that's where you start off with. Then you want to go from there, and, specifically the technique I use is one that I learned from the Artist's Way. But over the years, I've tweaked it to really put even more God into it. So what do I mean by that specifically? So with the Artist's Way format, what you're doing is you're saying, little John, and supposedly the intention is you're talking to your inner self or something like that, and then you listen for the answer. Okay, that's what she's talking about in the Artist's Way. Now, really, where we want to go is we want to go to two-way prayer. So we can start off with, you say, little John is asking a question, and really, the answer you're listening is not really for yourself. You want to listen to the answer of God. So when you first start doing it, you're not going to hear God, really. You'll probably hear yourself mostly. And what you want to do from that is whatever answers you get, you want to test them. Are these pure? Are these in line with truth? Are these in line with love? Or you want to test these thoughts by really purity. Are these pure thoughts? Are these loving thoughts? Are these thoughts that are in keeping with my faith? You want to evaluate the thoughts that come up in that respect. And really sort of continuing on, you want to get to the place where you're doing two-way prayer, and then you're doing this enough so that when you're writing that, oh yeah, God really sort of wants me to take this job in Houston. And how do I know God wants me to take this job in Houston? He's told me this every single day when I journal. And then I've had other people who've told me, well, aren't you going to take that job in Houston? And it's kind of come up like that. And so that's a bit of the indication with the two-way prayer.